Working, that nigga overtime. Working, he working.
Hello everyone, today I'll be speaking with a rapper by the name of Dura Hale. He's out of Dallas, Texas. Last year he released an amazing project titled Perfect-Shun. He's currently releasing so much more music. So we're here to learn more about his music, his process, and a little bit about his history. So please keep watching. Did you get that shirt made for your music video?
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, that was nice. I got to see the music video a few days ago when I was coming up with the interview questions. I was like going over and I was like, wow, like,
Yeah.
did you think of that story yourself?
Yeah. So I was in the music industry years ago, and last year, 2022, is when I feel as if God had urged me or commissioned me to start it back up again.
Mm-hmm.
But every song that I do, has a message. It has substance, and everything that I write, I feel as if I'm speaking to a specific person.
Mm-hmm.
And none of my music is about any bragging, any type of, craziness, but it's just being able to reach people that are going through, hard times, and being able to, reach them with truth and with a level of wisdom to kind of get them to see a different perspective as it relates to life, as it relates to God, as it relates to just different choices in life. So that song, it's called Perfect-Shun, like perfect, and
And
how
then
I
Shun.
felt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that song in particular, it's just how people, when you live life watching TV all day, and you live in this TV world, and it kind of makes you feel as if everything is perfect, like in marriage, if you get married, I'm gonna get this perfect woman, I'm gonna get no flaws, no issues or anything like that. And so when you live in a world that portrays that in your mind, you tend to expect that in people or just anything in general. And so when you find out, hey, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or this person, isn't Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect, a lot of times people throw in a towel, but not understanding that, hey, just because this person isn't perfect doesn't mean that God didn't send you that person. You see what I'm saying? So I think that perception of perfection causes people to lose out on a lot of blessings. I feel as if God, allows them to receive because, false perception of what perfection is. So,
Yeah.
so that's why it's like Perfect-Shun. Our idea of perfect isn't real. You know what I'm saying? And I believe what a perfect person is someone that God has sent you, not a person without flaws, but a person that will ultimately lead you into the destination and the path that God has aligned for your life to ultimately better each other and people around you. So that's how I look at it.
I agree. Honestly, I think that's one of the most powerful messages I really got from that music video too, especially because you have the visual going with it, or she gets cheated on and then she turns the gun on her husband. You see the
Right.
powerful scene of her being escorted out, being arrested, and I feel like a lot of people don't know about marriages. You're gonna have falters, you're gonna have ups and downs, and when you take that initiative to just like end a person's life or not give them the chance to, have any type of repentance or any type of recovery, then, that affects your life in a way. And, you can heal and move on with them. Even if you decide, okay, I don't want to stay in a marriage where someone's going to cheat on me, you could peacefully leave that situation.
Right.
but it's almost as if like she felt like her dreams were robbed from her, and so she
Right.
robbed his life. Like she felt like this man was robbing her of the life that she envisioned, that she saw through the television screen. So I like the messages that a lot of your music has.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's exactly what it was.
And
And then also it goes to with kids and raising your kids and being able to teach them regarding life and understanding how situations and circumstances play out. But if you allow your children to just be raised by society and television, then they don't have that level of wisdom as it relates to, you know, the obstacles and trials and tribulations that they may face. And when they are hit with certain things in life, it devastates them in a way that they pretty much was blindsided. You see what I'm saying? So um, that's why, you know, I put in there, as you know, as a little girl, you know, she was watching TV, you know, mama was working and things like that. So it kind of, you know, I was trying to, you know, project the image of, hey, you know, not being able to instill in your children, you know, the realities of life. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, everything has a story. And I feel as if truth always hits harder than fairy tale, fable, and myth. And what I mean by that is when I look at music today and I see the messages that are being portrayed out to the people, um, it's very it's very sad. You know, I'm not saying all of it is, but for the most part, you know, you really, you know, it's like people are just, you know, having songs about, you know, getting high, having a good time, and all of these types of things, and not understanding, hey, you're missing a whole group of people that are suffering. Who reaches that person? You know, everybody's not, you know, going to the club. Everybody's not, you know what I'm saying, living this, you know, this great life with throwing money everywhere, making it rain in the club and doing all of these things. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people that are experiencing very traumatic situations and circumstances. And so I feel as if, you know, my job as a writer is to be able to put my mind in that perspective of what that person is going through and reach them with truth. And I feel as if truth always hit harder than, like I say, fairy tale, fable, and myth. You know, so you know that's what I feel as if my job is to do as a writer.
Yeah, I get that a lot from your music. There was one song that you had that reminded me of a song that I have wrote. And I want to say it's your self-titled song, Project Gold Sun, right?
Okay.
And it just reminded me, because you're speaking about how a lot of the songs are talking about like drugs, talking about partying, but none of those same artists will tell you about addiction or like, you know, running, like losing all your money, and because of those things they'll tell you about the cause of it, but they'll never tell you the effect. But the reason why I liked your album entirely is because it was so cohesive. Like a lot of it did remind me of like storytelling. It kind of gave me like an Outcast feel, but like in an original way. Not to say like you're copying Outcast, like it was completely original, but it just gave me back that type of old school like storytelling rap that I really like. Um, it comes off almost as religious, but not like to a point where you can just deem it gospel rap. I feel like anyone can listen to it, but like I honestly can see it as really prophetic. Like seems like you have something that you're trying to say to people, which I really appreciate. So I do want to know, you said that you were previously in the music industry before. So were you using your same name to release music back then? Or is this a new
Yeah,
name?
yeah. So Dura Hale is actually my real name.
That's
So
your legal name.
legal name.
What? That's dope. That's
Yeah,
cool.
first name is Dura, last name Hale. Yeah, so I was in the music industry back in the day, and I had songs on the radio. Um, I was signed to an independent label, and there was a lot of good things that was happening at that time. I was in a Source magazine, I was in newspapers here in Dallas, and there was a lot of things that was happening, you know, good.
Mhm.
And make a long story short, out of everything that took place musically, uh, well, let me just say this. The last thing that took place was I had a band, and it was called Dura Hale. And we won the Independent Music World Series. That's with Billboard magazine. So we went to Chicago, and we won that competition. So we came back here to Dallas, and at the same time, I was dealing with A&Rs. A&Rs, it was an A&R from Sony Records, Sony Columbia.
Mhm.
And long story short, they flew me into Sony for an interview because, you know, they like the music.
Mhm.
And went there, sit down with them, and, you know, they just pretty much just asked me questions about the music, what was my vision, and things like that. Also, they was asking about the radio play. They was looking at my radio um, plays, and wanted to see like where my songs were moving, and you know, all of that. But at that time, I was just had a song here in Dallas. Also, I was in the Dallas Morning newspaper here in Dallas as well. And when all of that was taking place, I felt as if God had told me at that point, hey, you need to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because everything that I was doing, all the songs, you know, that I did, I wasn't saying nothing. I wasn't talking about nothing. To me,
Mhm.
I wasn't, you know. And and that realization of, you know, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
Mhm.
So I completely left the music business while I had a song on the radio, while I had an article in the newspaper, everything. I stopped everything and went back to my old job. And so I
Mhm.
left music alone from, I say, 2006
Wow.
all the way up, yeah, all the way up to last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, so but how is how you said, like, you feel as if my music is prophetic. I feel as if it is. And I feel as if my call is, I feel like I'm a fisher of men, like what
Mhm.
Jesus called the disciples to be in the Bible. But what that means is this: that means to be able to reach people in the state that they're in. In order to reach them in the state that they're in, like, I don't come off like this you know, preacher type individual. That's
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But my job is to be able to reach them where they are, to be able to draw them out of that situation.
Mhm.
And another song that I did, I'm gonna give you an example of it. The song called "Anti-Suicide."
Mhm.
So let me tell you how that song came about. Well, God inspires me. Like when he'll drop an idea in my heart, and I write about it. So he had me to do a song, and he wanted me to. He put in my heart about an ant, being able to look at an ant and see change, and how God can, you know, reconstruct a person's life through watching an ant. So he laid that in my heart as far as watching an ant like on a porch, right? So I'm
Mhm.
gonna tell you what happened. So as soon as he dropped that in my heart, I immediately started writing to it. So as I was writing to it, I went on vacation. We drove to Colorado, and when I went to Colorado, early in the morning, I would wake up and I would just start writing to that song. This one particular morning, I finished the verse of the part of me saying "ant on a porch," because
Mhm.
I know that, you know, God was putting that in my spirit real strong. So after I finished writing the song, so that portion of the song was completed, and the specific part about the ant on the porch, all that was done, right? As I left my car and I went back into my hotel room with my family, my daughter, first thing when I walked in the door, she said, "Daddy," she said, "I got a joke to tell you." I was
Mhm.
like, okay, babe, what is it? She said, "What do you call?" She said, "What do you call something. I forgot what it was, but I was like, I don't know, baby. What is it? And this is what she said. Ant on a porch. So I knew, because when I came in, I
That's
showed them. I
funny.
said, "Y'all, I want y'all to see this. I just got finished writing this song." I showed them the lyrics.
Yeah.
And on the porch, so I knew it was God. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I say, with that song, I felt as if I'm speaking to a specific individual. So when you said that you feel as if the songs are prophetic, it actually is, because every song that I'm doing, I have a specific person in mind.
To circle back around to the music video, when you created it, I saw the ending of it where there was the woman who was in like a domestic violence relationship, and it looked like her partner killed himself after shooting her, thinking that she was already dead. She was hospitalized and thankfully recovered. Where did you get that from?
Okay, yeah, that was a true story. So that's
Mhm.
that's a true situation from the lady that, and yeah, happened where the boyfriend, tried to kill her, and then he killed himself. But it's a YouTube video. It's the girl is on YouTube, and
Mhm.
that's her testimony. I'll send it to you. But
Mhm.
that video I saw years ago, long time ago, and when I wrote the song, I was like, because like I said, as far as videos, I was like, man, I wanted to shoot a video, but I don't know nobody, and I don't know how to, what I'm saying, like, put this together how I see it. So I was like, man, let me just put some clips together, you know what I'm saying, that I feel as if matches what I was saying. And when I was doing that, when I was putting the clips together for that video, that story, you know what I'm saying, like popped in my heart. So that's where I took it from. But it's an actual true story.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what made you incorporate that into the video, because I just love how powerful it was. Still moving. You're still
Right.
here. Like, and so many people who face depression, they don't get that type of optimism, right? Where, I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, I still got a chance, I can still do this. So I really love the way that you ended it on that powerful, repetitive note, because it was just like you were driving home a point. And I really
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know everything is connected, and
Hmm.
I know at this time, you know, I know I'm not gonna live forever, but I feel as if my job is to give help somebody out in a way that can better them in life, and ultimately, change their heart for the good, and then God draws them how He draws them. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
See, you know what I'm saying? Because all I am is a messenger. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Music that I feel as if God has commissioned me to do, and so every song, like I say, it's a lot of stories.
Hmm.
Because as an artist or as a writer, you can, whatever you do repetitiously, you'll get better at.
Hmm.
And if you write about braggadocious things, bragging, and I got money, I got this and that, you'll get better at it, right?
Hmm.
But what's the value of that? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? There's no value actually destroying people. You know what I'm saying? When you're
Hmm.
making them think that life is just about me feeling good, fame, fortune, and all of these things. But
Yeah.
and I felt as if as a writer, I want to try to perfect storytelling, and at the same time say the most powerfulest things in the simplest ways. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that's how I'm trying to, that's the zone of as writing that I'm trying to perfect at this time. So
I think you, that's why I had to ask, who are you? Where you been hiding? Because you come across one, it's your first release after a really long time, but it came off just perfect, like seamless, like well mixed, well mastered, well written. So I kind of wanted to know, like, how did your love for music begin? Like, um, we're talking at least what, a 15-year break, right?
yeah,
Between like when you were you were almost going to sign the deal with Sony. You didn't sign the deal with Sony, right?
Mm-mm. Right.
So before then, when did you start like this was my craft and this is what I'm going to go for?
Oh, okay. Well, the first rap I wrote, I was 14. So, that was like my first thing. But my father was in the music business.
Mhm.
And I wasn't raised with my father, you know, growing up. When I was 14, well, yeah, when I was 14, I went to visit him for the summer when I was 14. And so my father and mother were married when I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? But they had, they divorced very early. So when I was 14, I went to visit him, and but he was in the music industry. He actually sung with the Commodores. So I
Mhm.
so I so I feel as if I was always able to feel music. I can feel it, you know what I'm saying? And but for me to actually start writing, it was when I was 14 years old. And that's when Bone Thugs and Harmony came out. And that when they came out, it was like, man, they were the ones that made me actually pick up a pen and start writing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
That's good. Hey, that's one of my favorites. So that's funny that you say that. Do you feel like some of the musical influences you had back then differ from like your musical influences now, especially because you're trying to write like a different type of music?
Yeah. So as it relates to like different artists that I
Mhm.
look up to.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like I didn't even listen to music. Like this whole period of time, like I wasn't listening to anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, but musically, who I have a great respect for is Outkast,
Oh,
specifically
okay.
Andre. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
specific.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good and Mob. I liked Scarface,
Mhm.
and just Tupac.
Yeah.
Also just people that people that I felt as if had a heart for people, because you can always feel genuine love. As
Mhm.
a writer and as an artist, you can always feel when somebody genuine,
Mhm.
and you can tell with what they write, the things that they write, the things that they say, if they really did that from the heart, or if they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And those are the individuals that I felt as if, you know what I'm saying, when they wrote these songs, they did it from the heart, you know what I'm saying, to, reach people for the good. DMX was another one as well,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So those are the type of artists. Lauren Hill, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, you know, people that speak truth, and I feel as if the hand of God was on them in certain things that they were writing as well. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people feel as if, oh, well, if you're not a quote unquote gospel rapper, God is not using you. Nah, that's not true. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
how I feel too.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
I
not true.
feel.
See, the thing is, God is good. Anything good is God, right?
Mhm.
So anything that inspires people for the good, anything that enriches people, you know what I'm saying, in their soul to in a good way, that's the signature of God.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And I feel as if, even the gospel, they say, well, you're a gospel rapper. And I was like, okay, well, do you know what a gospel rapper is? A gospel rapper is not what people think it is. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
gospel, well, what does that mean? Gospel means the good news. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So whatever you do that has good news of strength, being able to, you know what I'm saying, reach a person in a certain being able to reach someone where they are and speak truth to where they are, to get them to see things in a different perspective, to bring
Mhm.
them up out of that, to acknowledge, hey man, I'm in the wrong situation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people not gonna understand that they're in a bad situation until hit them with something that reflects it. And in
Yeah.
their mind, and then they transition out of it. I just wrote this song. I'm actually doing another video next month, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Lust, and it's two stories, and basically understanding that the devastation of lust. So like I was telling you, you got a lot of, when you see these videos and you see all of this stuff, that's everything is so sexualized today, and no one talks about the penalty of that or the downfall of that. And so the song called that that I'm releasing, is called Lust. It speaks about that. So when a person understands that, hey man, my lifestyle living this way, there's a penalty about it. You know what I'm saying? If I continue going down this path, sooner or later, what I'm saying, devastation gonna hit me. I may lose my family. You can catch a incurable disease, all kind of things that a person can get caught up in off of these lifestyles and choices. And that in essence is God. Why? Because it's reaching a person for the good, to get them to see things in a different perspective, and to warn them, to let them know, what I'm saying, man, to just get them to see things in a different light. So that's how I look at it.
So how do you feel? Do you feel like you are a gospel rapper, or do you not necessarily associate with that label directly?
How I see it is as it relates to how society sees gospel rapper. I don't consider myself how society, what they see as gospel. Again, I believe that gospel is good news, and anything good in its rawest form is the signature of God.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
right.
Another song I did was Work. I don't know if you have seen that one.
Yeah, that's actually how I found you. I found that song first. And then
Okay.
I was like, I sent it to my husband because that's my love language. We send a whole bunch of memes and videos to each other. And then something made me go back to your profile. And then I was just swiping and I ran on anti-suicide. And I was just like, what? Like, this was polar opposite. But I just love your message, especially in Work. I saw the music video for that.
Right.
So where did you shoot that?
Okay, so that was shot here in Dallas. The other artist that's on it, if you watch the whole video, it's mr.lucci. He's like a known rapper here in the South in Dallas. But yeah, again, that song as well, as it relates to speaking to a person that feel as if ain't no hope. They went to jail. What I'm saying? Got bad record. What I'm saying? And all these opportunities that they trying to get a job, what I'm saying? But they made mistakes in their life, not understanding that at the end of the day, God is actually calling you to work for him. You see what I'm saying? And that regardless of what situation you in, there's always hope. You see what I'm saying? Because it took the guy to actually try to rob somebody and wind up getting shot. And then his soul leave his body. He goes to hell. And then he realizes the truth. And then God graces him to come back to understand, hey man, like what you think life was about, chasing money and all this here, that's not what it's even about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming to that conclusion. So that's why it's called Work, because what I'm saying, it's who you working for. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you working for these material things that we see in this physical world? You know what I'm saying? And if you do, you're not even understanding what this life is about. So how it was back in the day, because like I said, I'm so new to the music now. Back in the day, you do an album and but now it's like people just putting out singles. You put a single out and
then they make it a compilation on the project.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So I feel as if I'm just releasing messages. So it's just song after song, and with the intent to speak to a person. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what I'm doing as a specific project or album. I did that with the Prodigal Son. So I have that the series of songs. But after that, I was like, man, I might as well just keep just writing and just release them. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you can post something in a day and have 100,000 views in one day. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy.
Yeah. So you think you're gonna sing more on your next songs like you did in Forever?
Okay. So this is the thing. Um, like I say, even before, like I said, I can write songs and I can write like melodies, things. Um, being that I'm just got back into music, I don't have those connections that I had back in the day. So
Mm.
like when I have singing parts, I have to sing them myself. And
I
I
think
don't.
you're a great singer.
Oh really?
Yeah, you should do more singing projects. And then obviously
Oh,
you
okay.
wrote that song for your wife.
Yeah, so it was you know what I'm saying, like I say, just a relationship, you know, my wife or just a person, you know what I'm saying, understanding the ups and downs in a relationship,
Mhm.
and being able to have a song to that cherishes, you know what I'm saying, your wife, or the one that you're with, you know what I'm saying, and understanding that, hey, you know, we gotta, you know, go through it, man. You know what I'm saying? We can't give up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make this thing last forever. We got to put the
Mhm.
work into it to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So I did another song called Virtuous Woman. I'm not sure if you heard that one.
Yes, I did.
So
Mhm.
so again, with that song as well, I did that one because you don't see these guys cherishing their woman. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of, and I'm not saying all, but I'm saying
Yeah.
there's a lot of men that are disrespecting women, and seeing them as, you know, just, you know, for one thing, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to do a song that, you know, spoke highly of this woman. You know what I'm saying? That she's virtuous. This is what I adore. You know, I'm not looking for that woman that ain't got no clothes on and dress half naked and twerking. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the
Mhm.
case is. It's
Mhm.
still men out there that love that old school. You know what I'm saying? Godly type woman. So that's why
Mhm.
I wanted to relay that message. You know what I'm saying, to people, to inspire them, because it's like, you know, I feel as if, you know, a lot of women and are really degrading themselves, and they feel as if they have to,
Mhm.
because of what society says, you know, we're into and what we're not into. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it probably is because of social media.
Yeah.
They're seeing that certain type of women are getting more likes, and so you'll see it with especially like the what do they call them, Brazilian butt lifts,
Right.
the models. So they see that those type of people get all these likes, and so then they fly out to go get it done. I'm not gonna go too much into it. It's people's choice if they want to do plastic surgery or not. I just say love yourself, because we don't even know in 60 years what you're gonna look like.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Can,
God made it perfect, so that's just how I feel.
you know, it's crazy that you say that, because the song that I'm finna record, the love song, it has
It
that in it.
touches on
So
that. I can't wait to hear it. I
yeah,
can't wait to
it's
hear it.
crazy.
Oh man.
A lot of things that you said is just confirmation.
Yeah.
I even told my kids, and you know, like I was like, man, like when you sent me the message with about the interview and everything,
Hmm.
and I was like, man, it's confirmation, like the things that you were saying. So it was just it's interesting to see. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Like I don't have the biggest audience right now, but I always just kind of feel like I rather focus my attention on like independent artists that are doing their music their way, releasing it their own way, and really doing it all from start to finish, and just making sure that their messages get out, that their songs are heard. And then I always just think, if they do end up taking off, someone can research them and learn more about them that help them get to that place, because so many people, especially before the internet, before we had all these resources to like release music ourselves, we had to go through a label, we had to know the right people. And now we're in this better position where what's stopping you other than you know? And so I
right.
really just, my whole website is just about encouraging people, inspiring people, making sure that they have the resources available to use to get their music heard, to get them out there. And just build a following for themselves, but find true fans, like true fans that want to listen to your music, that want to support your music, because they're not always going to look like everyone else's fans.
Right.
Give them actual tangible ideas of success, because success obviously is fame too. Some, I'm not going to say that famous people aren't successful. They're successful in that aspect of fame, but there's other successes in life, like personal wins, personal achievements, like you taking a almost 20-year hiatus,
Right.
and you know what I mean? And then you come out and you release this amazing music that you see is well received on the internet, and people are listening to your message. Like, that's a success. That's a win. You didn't
Right.
let the music leave you completely. You didn't stop doing what you were passionate for.
Right. Yeah, it's all out of love. You know what I'm saying? All out of love. And I know that this is what God told me to do. And every song, like I say, is out of love, because I feel as if I'm speaking to someone. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Even if it's just one person, I feel as if this song was meant to speak to that individual. Even if it's somebody I don't know and they never respond to it or nothing, or I know about or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel as if I'm speaking to someone and reaching them for the good with truth. So that's how I look at
Yeah,
it.
I like that. But I really appreciate you for your time and just sharing your story with me. It's been amazing
Appreciate
to getting to know you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
You too. Bye bye.
Wherefore